John chapter 8, verses 17 and 18 are verses that some point to and say these are problem verses for Oneness Pentecostals. I disagree. Here is my view. Jesus said, "It is also written in your law that the testimony of two men is true. I am one that bear witness of myself, and the Father that sent me beareth witness of me." Now, for me, I go to 1 Timothy chapter 2, verse 5, where Jesus said, or Paul writes and says, "There is one God and one mediator between God and men, the man, Christ Jesus." We notice there that Paul makes a separation, a distinction between the spirit and the flesh. And that's exactly what is there. And it's the only distinction that is in God. Spirit and flesh. It's substance. It's not persons. And so one of the things that demonstrates in this verse is a testimony. These verses testify against God being a Trinity because Jesus did not appeal to the third person to be a witness. And he could have just easily said, "I've got two other witnesses other than myself. I've got the Father and I've got the Spirit." But instead, he had to include himself in that witness of himself because there's not a third person. And it's repeated over and over again. There are so many verses. I've got a long play of this that you'll want to check out. And I've got some resources that I'm going to have on my website for you to check out about this. But just the truth that there is only one God. And Jesus was the manifestation of him. And yes, there was a spirit, flesh, father-son relationship there, but it was not two persons. And one day we will see one on that throne, and it will be Jesus Christ. That whatever time of a right-hand place will be done away, just like Psalms 110 and 1 says, "Sit until your enemies are made your footstool." The enemies are made the footstool in Revelation chapter 20, verse 11, when the last enemy is destroyed, that being death. And so that is when he will overcome and take the throne. And so here's some passages that show that no distinction between the Spirit and the Father. Isaiah 63, verses 14 to 16. John 4, verses 20 to 24. Jesus has talked about worshiping the Father, and suddenly he says, "God is a spirit, and they that worship him must worship him in spirit and in truth." Father is the relationship that the Spirit has with his creation as the one first cause, the source of origin of everything. He is the Father of it all. There's passages such as Matthew 11, 25 to 27, where it says, "Only the Father knows the Son, and only the Son knows the Father, and him to whom he will reveal him." So it would take a special revelation, if there is a third person of the Spirit, for him to even know the Father and the Son. And the Spirit is not knowledgeable of the coming of the Son of Man, only the Father. And so there is only one God.